this technology is getting old, and especially in harsh weather, so extreme heat, extreme cold, we can see this technology is struggling, and also is struggling to give you a smooth experience while you're driving it. Today I'm talking about my review of the Ford F-150 PowerBoost. So the PowerBoost, it's the hybrid powertrain for the F-150. So is it the best powertrain to choose for your next F-150? There's a question. You know, I've been testing pretty much all the powertrain you can get inside under the hood of the F-150. I drove and test the PowerBoost back in 2021. Every time I test the PowerBoost, I've got some harsh weather, I could say. The week I've been testing this F-150 PowerBoost was pretty cold here in Canada. It was at least minus 15 Celsius to minus 25 Celsius. So pretty cold. And the last time I was driving this EcoBoost was in the middle of the summer, and it was around 30 Celsius, 35 Celsius, so close to 100 Fahrenheit. Obviously, the hybrid powertrain doesn't really like those, you know, really high and low temperatures. So obviously, I'm going to give you all the numbers, fuel economy wise and all that. So the model I was driving is the F-150 Lariat, pretty well equipped with the PowerBoost. Starting price for the Lariat equipped with the PowerBoost, it's 86,000 Canadian. If you're in the US, it's good for $69,000. And the model I was driving was around $92,000. And if you're in the US, $76,000. It makes a little bit more sense, the price in the US, from my point of view. You know, a Lariat model close to $100,000 Canadian is just sounds horrible. So under the hood, we've got that PowerBoost. So what exactly is the PowerBoost? It's the V6 3.5 liter twin turbo EcoBoost matched to a hybrid system. This is an optional engine on the Lariat model. It's good for $2,500 if you're in Canada. It's $1,900 in the US. This engine is matched to a 10-speed transmission. We've got pretty decent power out of this PowerBoost engine. It's good for 430 horsepower and 570 foot-pounds of torque. So obviously you get a little bit more power, a little bit more torque out of this engine. Performance-wise, you can do the 0 to 60 miles an hour, so 0 to 100 kilometers in about 5.6 seconds. So today it's mostly a powertrain review, I could say. You know, otherwise, this truck, you know, has been on the market for a while now, you know, design-wise, interior-wise, and all that. This review is mostly focused on the powertrain. So is it the right powertrain for you? You know, driving the PowerBoost, you've got a ton of torque. So the EcoBoost engine developed decent amount of horsepower and torque just by itself. With the PowerBoost system, you get extra torque, I could say, especially when you do a lot of start and go. This powertrain is kind of clunky, I could say, driving every day. You've got sometimes the powertrain kind of like hesitate to really give you the power from the engine or the hybrid system. So you can really feel it while you're driving. I'm not a big fan of those hybrid. I think they are an old technology. They're not the latest technology. Obviously, a hybrid plug-in would make maybe more sense, especially if you have a full electric range. It's not the case for the PowerBoost. There's no place to recharge it, so it manages itself, I could say. From my point of view, it's an old technology, especially when you're in 2025 these days. This technology is getting old, and especially in harsh weather, so extreme heat, extreme cold, we can see this technology is struggling, and also is struggling to give you a smooth experience while you're driving it. I could say this powertrain will be at its best if you do a lot of city, a lot of traffic. If you do a lot of highway, a lot of country roads, you won't see a big difference between an EcoBoost and a PowerBoost, from my point of view. You know, most people drive trucks. I know they rarely do a lot of city. They might do some traffic, but most guys with big trucks, they try to avoid, you know, the city, especially here where I live, Montreal. It's on a small island where it's really hard to find any parking. It's hard to fit inside of those underground parking and all that. So I think most truck owner, for a majority, they don't live in the city, from my point of view. So if you do a lot of city and you want to have a truck, maybe this one will please you more. So speaking of the design, the Lariat I was driving is the Lariat with the black package. So the black package remove all the chrome. So you get also all the bumpers. It's going to match the paint. I think it looks good. It's more my cup of tea to remove all that chrome, black wheels, and all that. I think it looks good. Stepping inside, we have a nice leather seat. This is the difference between XLT and Lariat. You get all the leather seat and more equipment. Heated seat, heated steering wheel. You've got that funny you know, office thing you can pull out, and you can put down also the shifter down. The screen works really well. All the cameras and all that works well. Interior wise, it's a nice truck, really spacious, especially in the back. A lot of space. You know, these days I really review a lot of cars, and I've got two kids. One, she's 3 years old, and the other one, she's 3 months. And you know, there's not a lot of baby seats who fits behind myself. I'm 6'3", so I was quite surprised. There's a lot of SUVs. You know, the baby seat doesn't fit behind myself. So last week I was driving an Acura MDX. They don't fit in the seat behind myself. Durangos and all that. I think you've got more space, especially with baby seats in F-150 than an Expedition or a Tao. So that's, for me, it's a big plus, especially if you're big and tall like me. If you're big and tall, you can go see the link in my description. This is some clothes from ONEBONE, built for big and tall guys like me. But it's really important. I want to specify, you know, there's a lot of people hating on trucks, and I think those people never drove trucks. They don't know how practical they are, especially with kids, especially if you're tall. It makes a lot of difference. I think a lot of people who always you know, talk about against trucks, there are small people, there are city people, and there are people without kids. That's my point of view. You know, great inside. The one I'm showing you behind myself, it's the Platinum. So if you want to upgrade for even more luxury, you can add for the Platinum. But still, a nice truck, nice packaging, not too expensive, but you get decent, you know, equipment with the Lariat. So speaking of the fuel economy, you know, most journalists, most numbers you're going to see online, they get 11.5 liters per 100 kilometers. So this is 20 miles per gallon. You know, every time I drive this truck, I'm not able to get those numbers. I think those are in ideal condition, ideal temperature, not carrying any weight, you know, not towing, and obviously, but still, you know, it's really in the ideal condition from my point of view. And I never drove this PowerBoost in ideal condition. So while I was testing this truck, just a quick reminder, as it was pretty cold, I was able to do 15 liters per 100 kilometers, 15 miles per gallon. It's the same thing in miles per gallon. Not great, you know. I used to do better numbers sometimes with the V8 5 liters. And also the just the normal V6 3.5 liter. And if you really want fuel economy, the V6 EcoBoost 2.7 liter is the one who's going to give you the best fuel economy from my point of view. But, you know, I gave the PowerBoost a chance. You know, last day of my test, I was driving an hour or more than an hour back to Montreal. So I did most of, it was half and half, you know, highway and a lot of traffic in the city. So it makes a good mix of highway driving and city driving from my point of view. And the temperature was just -5 Celsius, so probably 30 Fahrenheit or 25 Fahrenheit, something like that. So I was able to do 12.5 liters per 100 kilometers, so 18 miles per gallon. So there's no miracle there from my point of view. If we're looking at the towing capacity, you can tow up to 11,200 pounds. This is less weight than what's the V6 3.5 EcoBoost non-PowerBoost is able to do, and also the V8 5-liter Coyote is able to do to tow more weight. So you have to make a sacrifice on this side also, and payload also it's less, so it's 1,755 pounds. So overall, you know, what I think about the PowerBoost, the thing that really annoys me for this powertrain on the road of the F-150, it's because it's always #1 in the consumer report and all kind of lists who's been the worst, the most unreliable engine, most unreliable model on the market. The F-150 with the PowerBoost, not the F-150, but the one with the PowerBoost is always #1. I think this is the model who's got the most complaint, the most issues and all that. So that's a big, big, big red flag from my point of view. And after all my testing and all the stats and all that, from my point of view, it's not worth it to pay more or get that engine from my point of view. Maybe this engine makes less emission. I think the PowerBoost is old technology who's going to help Ford to achieve their goal to lower their emission for their fleet of truck. And this is what happened when the government gives you a bunch of goals to achieve. You make some okay products or not really good products like this just to be able to achieve your numbers. Just like take the example of Toyota with the BZ4X. It's just a terrible electric car, but they're doing it to please the government and all that. So now things are changing with the new government in place in the US. Hopefully, there's going to be the manufacturer is going to be able to focus more on quality products and actually products going to deliver real performance for an affordable price, and not something just funky to kind of cheat to achieve some impossible numbers and do it quickly. This is really what I think about this PowerBoost. I think it's just a powertrain to try to lower down those emissions for the fleet and try to get those goals. I don't think there's a future for the PowerBoost if there's not an upgrade. It's either this option is going to disappear in the next few years, or it's going to get a major overhaul. So maybe a plug-in hybrid or something like that. They're going to keep the PowerBoost name, but this technology it's a little bit too old and it's not giving you enough result to cost more or choose that engine. So overall, you know, in all the powertrain you can get under the hood of our F-150, this is really the engine I'm telling you guys to avoid. If you want fuel economy and you don't need to tow a lot of weight, the V6 2.7 liter EcoBoost is the right choice. If you need more power, V8, if you like the V8 simplicity, if you want a little bit more power, a little bit more capacity to tow, the V6 3.5 EcoBoost is the choice to make. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about the PowerBoost? Is it your favorite powertrain, or you heard some scary stories about that powertrain, and you heard a lot of people got into some serious issues with it? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and we're gonna see each other on the next podcast.